Hey everyone, it's Amanda again, your friendly American traveler who is still trying to figure out how Filipinos manage to be the smartest rule benders in the tropics. You know that feeling when you think you've seen it all? Yeah, that's what I thought, until I moved to the Philippines. Let me tell you, Filipinos have a special skill. It's not just about surviving the heat, the floods, or the sudden brownouts. No, their real superpower is outsmarting the system. And when I say the system, I mean every system. Government, traffic, school, malls, even the weather. Somehow Filipinos always find a loophole. It's like they have a national degree in creative problem solving, with honors in life hacks. The first time I really noticed this was when I asked my Filipino friend why traffic in Manila never seems to move. He just smiled and said, "Because everyone's smarter than the rules." He said it like it was the most natural thing in the world. And you know what? He was right. So today I am going to share some of the moments that made me realize this country runs on a type of logic so advanced, it confuses everyone else. Let's start with traffic. I once saw a tricycle driver get stopped for a violation. The cop asked him, "Boss, may lisensya ka ba?" "Boss, do you have a license?" The driver smiled, pulled out his wallet, and confidently handed over a folded black and white photocopy of his license. The cop just stared at it for a second, sighed, and said, "Next time, bring the original." The driver nodded, drove off, and yelled back, "Yes, sir." I was just standing there wondering, did he just win that round? Then there's the Filipino way of passing requirements. Back in the US, if you need an ID, you bring 10 different documents and just pray it gets approved. Here, if the system is too strict, people find a cousin, a friend, or a neighbor's aunt who works at the local barangay office. Next thing you know, your papers are magically approved, and the real hero of the day is the photocopier. But it's not just about paperwork. Filipinos can outsmart almost anything. For example, a mall announced a new rule: no slippers allowed. The very next day, I saw 3 different people wearing slippers, but with black socks pulled over them. I mean, technically, they're not slippers anymore, right? That's not breaking the rules. That's just redefining fashion. Or how about the guy who wanted to beat the traffic? He realized that motorbikes could get through much faster. So he bought a small toy electric scooter, taped a homemade license plate to it, and started riding through the highway like an absolute legend. When he was questioned, he simply said, "It's electric, not motorized." You can't even argue with that level of confidence. And don't even get me started on Filipino students. In America, cheating on an exam is a huge scandal. In the Philippines, it's called teamwork. I once sat near a group of students getting ready for a test, and they literally had assigned roles. One was the lookout, another was typing answers on a calculator, and one was coughing in what sounded like Morse code. They called it cooperation. I called it a next-level survival strategy. I quickly learned that in the Philippines, rules are more like flexible suggestions. Take the no parking signs. If you just put your hazard lights on and say, "Sandali lang," just a moment, it magically becomes a legal parking spot. You can park anywhere, as long as you use that sacred phrase. It doesn't matter if your moment lasts for 45 minutes. Then there's the infamous Wi-Fi hack. Filipinos can connect to anything. I was at a coffee shop where the Wi-Fi password was only for paying customers, but I saw someone nearby streaming a K-drama in full HD without buying a single thing. When I quietly asked her how, she just smiled and whispered, "I guessed the password. It's always a 12345. And she was right. Oh, and have you heard about Filipino discounts? In the States, you get discounts with coupons. In the Philippines, you get them with charm. I watched a man at the market haggle so masterfully that the vendor ended up apologizing for charging him full price in the first place. She said, "Okay na, suki ka naman." "It's okay, you're a regular." He walked away with extra vegetables and a new friend. One time, I was at a karaoke bar, and the power went out mid-song, a total brownout. In any other country, people would probably panic. But the Filipinos? They just pulled out their phones, turned on the flashlights, and kept singing a cappella. Power outage or not, the show must go on. That's not just outsmarting the system. That's conquering it. And let's talk about the genius of Filipino food delivery. In the US, our apps tell you exactly where your driver is. In the Philippines, it's more like a quest. The driver calls you and says, "Ma'am, Malapit na ako. Ma'am, I'm close. And then spends the next 15 minutes asking for directions. But somehow, they always find you, even if your address is behind the big mango tree, beside the sari-sari store, near the house with the dog. They use pure instinct. GPS could never. The creative excuses are pure art. When someone is late, it's never just I overslept. It's there was a fiesta blocking the road, or my cousin borrowed my uniform, or the jeepney had a chicken inside and it refused to move. You can't even get mad because the stories are just too entertaining. My absolute favorite life hack, though, was the ultimate solution to brownouts. My neighbor had one outlet that still worked during a power outage because it was connected to his uncle's power line next door. I asked him how. He just winked and said, "It's the extension cord of hope." That's pure innovation. After months of traveling here, I realized something important. Filipinos don't outsmart the system because they're rebels. They do it because a lot of the time the system itself doesn't work, so they fix it themselves, with humor, creativity, and just a little bit of mischief. Everyday life here is like a game of chess, and every Filipino I've met is playing 3 moves ahead. They know exactly when to smile, when to use their charm, and when to twist logic until it becomes their own version of the truth. It's not about corruption, it's about survival with a sense of humor. You even see it in government offices. There are lines that should take hours, but there's always one person who knows about a faster window or an unlisted express lane that somehow works. Filipinos are like water, they always find a way around every obstacle. And what's even crazier is that it's all done with laughter. There's no anger, no stress, just a shrug, a joke, and a creative fix. In a world where rules can feel crushing, Filipinos turn them into puzzles and then solve them with a smile. I asked a tricycle driver once, "Why do Filipinos always find another way?" He looked at me and said, "Because, ma'am, if we wait for the system, we'll grow old, so we make our own system." That line hit me harder than the Manila heat. The truth is, Filipinos outsmart the system not because they hate rules, but because they know that life doesn't wait. And if you can't beat the system, you might as well laugh at it, bend it, and survive anyway. That is the Filipino way. So, the next time you see someone charging their phone from a mysterious outlet, riding a tiny scooter through traffic, or cooking adobo in a rice cooker during a blackout, don't judge, just clap. Because you are witnessing the fine art of Filipino survival. At the end of the day, I've realized something. America has Silicon Valley. Japan has incredible efficiency. But the Philippines? It has pure, unfiltered ingenuity. A kind of brilliance that can't be taught in a school. It can only be lived. They don't just think outside the box here. They recycle the box, turn it into furniture, and then sell it online. That's not breaking the system. That's mastering it. And honestly, the rest of the world could learn a thing or two from that. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next adventure. See you soon.